Abai say tonight, the Shell will talk a little bit about the Yami. Tshuva, one of the Yanim connected to Tara and to Tshuva is the Inyan of Mikva. I want to take a look at the Makoyer Hadvarim for the Inyan of Tevilas Ezra. It starts with the Gemara of a Kama, the Pei Beis Amud Aleph. The Gemara says, Asara Takonis Tikkun Ezra. Ezra was Mesakin 10 Takonis. Number one, Shekoyrim b'Mincha Shabbos, Shekoyrim b'Sheni b'Chamishi. We should read the Torah, Mincha on Shabbos, and also Sheni b'Chamishi. V'Danim b'Sheni b'Chamishi. The Batei Dinim should be open for Din on Mondays and Thursdays. Mechabs b'Chamishi b'Shabbos, and on Thursday one should wash clothing in honor of Shabbos. V'Oichlin Shum b'Erev Shabbos, one should eat garlic Erev Shabbos. A woman should get up early in the morning to bake bread.
What is that, Arab Shabbos or all week?
A whole week.
Okay.
A woman should wear a certain garment, a certain type of skirt, pants, that's snizdik. A woman should wash herself off before she goes for tefillah. The peddlers that sell different perfumes should be allowed to go into the cities all around selling, even though there are stores there. There's no hasagas gvul when it comes to selling the perfumes. And the last thing, the tikkun tefillah l'balei kroyin, and the Ezra was masakin tefillah going to the mikveh for a baal keri. Baal keri, someone who omits on a mission, either through tashmish or without tashmish. Therefore, he should go to the mikveh. The Gemara proceeds to discuss each one of these 10 takonos of Ezra. What exactly does it mean and why he was masakin?
Well, like
we're going to stick to number 10.
Like the Batei Din and Sheni b'Chamishi, I just want to ask, that was probably pre-existed, no? To Ezra maybe or not? In other words, was some of these things like a regular thing, and just my question, and he just went and made it at the Kana in Yiddishkeit and Halacha, but people were doing it. I mean, I'm just asking, I know not Kriya.
Could be some were doing it, but it wasn't a takana. It could be certain people were doing it, but not
getting up early and making bread, you know what I'm trying to say? Like maybe
it was done for the aniyim. It says that the aniyim, the women in the city should get up early, bake bread for the aniyim.
If someone comes by right away in the morning, they're hungry.
So the Gemara discusses each one of these takonis. The Gemara in Daf Pei Beis Amud Beis explains this last takon. The tikkun tefillah l'balei kroyin. He was masakin tefillah for baal keri, and it's the Gemara deraisu. This is a mitzvah deraisa. Someone whose seed comes out from him, he should wash his flesh in water. He should go to the mikvah. And it says the Gemara, Deiraisu l'truma v'kadsha. Also, who tikkun afil the Torah. The Torah only meant when it came to eating truma, or eating kachim, eating for karbanis. So then the koyanim would have to go to the mikveh, or to eat from your carbon shlamim.
Right,
Yisrael, eat from carbon shlamim, kachim, or going into the Beis HaMikdash. So therefore there's an Issa Deraisa on the Baal Keri. So you had to go to the mikveh. Ezra came along and stretched it and said, even for learning Torah, even when a Yid learns Torah, that's Kedusha enough that you should go to a Baal Keri, you should go to the mikveh before learning. You should not learn without going to the mikveh. Let's take a look. The Gemara in Barachis, which talks about davening and saying Kriya Shema, all these mitzvahs, has a discussion about what should a Baal Keri do when it comes to Kriya Shema. And when it comes to Birchas Hamazon, so the Mishnah says, Masnisin in Barachis Avchav Amud Beis, a Baal Keri Mahar B'Libay, Ve'ini Mevarech Lo Yelofanav Lo Yelacharav. A Baal Keri cannot say Kriya Shema, but he should think about the words of Kriya Shema in his mind. Think through your mind, go through Kriya Shema. And you should not make the bracha before and after. Val hamazon, when it comes to birchas hamazon, mavarach la'acharav, ve'ein mavarach l'fanav. When by birchas hamazon, one should make the bracha afterwards, and one should not make the bracha before. Rabbi Yehuda says, mavarach l'fnei l'achrei. I hold that you make before Kriya Shema and after Kriya Shema, everything's normal.
And also with Moses, he's saying he's also arguing.
So Lamaisa, the Gemara has a discussion, what does Rabbi Yehuda mean? Pashas, you would say Rabbi Yehuda did not hold of this takana. But how could that be? Tevilas Ezra was Masakin. So it came along Rabbi Yehuda and said, no, he didn't hold of it. So the Gemara explains that Rabbi Yehuda also held of Tevilas Ezra. However, Rabbi Yehuda held that certain things are an exception to the rule. For example, for Kriya Shema and its brachas are an exception to the rule that a Balkari can recite it without going to the mikveh. And the Gemara explains an example to that Rabbi Yehuda is going with Shitase. We see Rabbi Yehuda who's Rebbe, right? Rabbeinu HaKadosh, he held that you're allowed to say certain halachas, you're allowed to say even about Keri. Even though you're not allowed to say the Torah until you go to the mikvah, but Rabbi Yehuda was mekel when it came to Hilchas Derech Eretz, for example. Hilchas Derech Eretz is halachas about how you're supposed to eat and how you're supposed to behave. Those type of halachas, he didn't feel that had like psukim, and names of Hashem, Askaras, so that you could say. So therefore, Rabbi Yehuda held that the Chachamim considered Kriya Shema to that type. Therefore, you're allowed to say it. You're allowed to say it, like Hilchos Derech Eretz. Let's take a look. The Gemara says in Chav Beis Amar Aleph, Amar Rav Nachman by Yitzchak, Ason of Yehuda ki Hilchos Derech Eretz. Rabbi Yehuda, he of course held of the concept of Tevilas Ezra. However, he treated Kriya Shema and its brachas like the dinim of learning the halachas of Derech Eretz. The Tani we learned in a brayso, you should notify your children and your grandchildren. Oksiv Basei, and says afterwards, Yoim Asher Madata Lifnei Hashem Alikecha B'chayr. You should notify them about Matan Torah, the day that you stood before Hashem in Chayrev by Har Sinai. The Gemara learns out Mala Halan Ve'ema Ve'ira B'Reses of Aziyah. Just like then by Matan Torah, you were standing with fear and trembling before Hashem. Afkan, so too over here when you're teaching Torah, and all future generations, Be'emo, Be'yira, Be'reses of Aziyah. You have to with Yira. Mekan Amru, from here, Chachama learned out, Hazavim, HaMetzuroyim. Those people that are Zavim, they're Zav. Or Metzora, they're Tamei. Or Boyal Nidus, those who are Kama Nidus, they're Boyal Nidus. Mutarim, Likris, B'Torah, Onavim, Oksum, they're allowed to learn Tanakh. Relishis Mishnah, they're allowed to learn Mishnah, Gemara, Balachas, V'Agodas. Aval Ebale Kroyim Asur. A Baal carries Asur. Why? A Baal carry comes because of Azav and Mitzayra. It's not his fault.
You see, but what about on leaders? I mean, you mean it was by accident?
Not sure. I don't remember. I have to look back in the Gemara again.
In other words, he is, well, he's not coming out leader. What is he coming out? There was some kind of...
I don't recall what's the answer for Boyan Lidis. Now basically, Balei carry, that's something that comes from a kalos, a lightheadedness, that someone was a Baal carry. Either it was beheter, it was a tashmish, but it's not coming from kedusha and tara, or chas v'shalom it was a zel batala. So it's coming from a kalos hadas. So someone like that, how could you go now and learn Torah? Because we learn out from the pasuk that you're supposed to be learning Torah be'ema v'yira v'resses of aziyah. Someone who's a Baal Keri doesn't have on him feelings of ema yira at this point. Go to the mikveh, get rid of yourself of this feeling, and go, now you can go learn. This is actually an asmachta. It's not that we actually learn from this pasuk. Really, it's a takana of Ezra. But it's a smachta on the pasuk. Chachamim always looked for some type of support and leaning from a pasuk. But the emes is, it doesn't say clearly over here that you need to go to mikveh.
I'm not clear. Why is Sochas Teretz different from the rest of the Mishnayos, the Gemara? You know what I mean? He's saying that like Yishma Bechosah should be a cloud.
Right. I think Devar was like. I think Devar says right. I think Rashi explains that the Hilchas Derech Eretz is not something in depth. It's not in depth learning. So not worry that you're going to get like too involved in it. So you're learning like you read it a little bit. So we don't look at that as mamish limanat Torah, like sitting and being maimik in limanat Torah. So you don't need to be b're'ema v'yira v'yesses of aziyah to have that feeling when you're learning Hilchas Derech Eretz. Similarly, Kriya Shema is a short thing; it's just a few psukim, which you're very used to saying. So again, you're not going to be maimik over here and make a whole Torah out of it. You're saying it quickly.
In other words, it's a little bit like the halachas where they say that Torah is misameya, and you can't learn like maybe the Ian. There's certain places like
Tisha B'Av Tisha B'Av, where it says that you're allowed to learn Iyuv and parts of Gemara Gittin and Mayit Katan. However, even so, it says you're not supposed to learn it B'Iyuv. Not b'falful with questions and answers, because then you could also have Simcha.
So it's interesting. This is not. It's a similar.
I'll tell you something. I one time heard.
It's not related to Simcha. Here it's Shehayman. Here I'm trying to get a handle on it.
When I was a younger in yeshivas, I remember two of the Rosh Yeshivas. One Rosh Yeshiva said to the other that he on Tisha B'Av, came to Mincha. He said he was busy that day. He was listening to Rabbi Soloveitchik, Alav Shalom from YU, had an 8-hour shiur on Kinus. The Kinus of Tisha B'Av. So he learned something that was permissible. He was listening to a shiur in Kinus. So the other Rosh Yeshiva turned back to him, you're wrong. That's the biggest issue you could do on learning Torah on Tisha B'Av. What could be more geschmack than listening to his biurim, his explanation of Kinus? It must have been just a geschmack of shiur. So that mamash creates simcha. The whole reason you're not supposed to learn on Tisha B'Av is not to have simcha. Well, here you're getting a simcha. It seems to be, it's hard to understand, but this mahalach over here is that there are certain things that Chazal weren't so makbid on. It's just a quick limud. It's not a real hamaka getting involved in limud.
So in other words,
Lafi das of Yehuda.
Right. He helped him at Tevilas Ezra, but he qualified it.
Yeah. Furthermore, well, first of all, right now the Braisa said the first Tana in the Braisa, Tanakama, held that everything is also for Baal Keri. The Kamsa Zavim Mitzarim and Bailin Yidis. They're allowed to learn Tanakh, Mishnah, Gemara, Halachas, everything. But Baal Keri are also in all, everything. Rabbi Yaisi came along. There's a lot of different sheets here. Rabbi Yaisi, I'm Meshaynuhu, but Agilius. You're allowed to learn that things that you're used to. Things that you always used to read, but not something new and something that you can learn in depth. Actually, it's a Mishnah. However, when you learn a Mishnah, don't talk it out and get into the old explanations. If Yedis and B'Yosef he says, Matziyas Mishnah, to learn a Mishnah properly with Biurim is not considered really learning in depth. It's only Ein Matziyas a Gemara. You're not learning Gemara properly. B'Nasan ben Avshalom Eimer, after Matziyas a Gemara, even the Gemara I allow you to, and learn it well. Well, actually, when the Gemara mentions Psukim and mentions Hashem's name, I'm just makbid on Hashem's name, Askaris.
Well, what's what Kriya Shema Birchos you're saying, Hashem?
Again, we're going to soon get to Yehuda's opinion in the Braisa. Yechanan Sandler, Talmidei Rabbi Kiva, said over Mishum Rabbi Kiva, name Rabbi Kiva, Oimer, no, I don't allow you to learn any Gemara at all. Now you're telling me that don't learn Gemara, but don't learn the Askaris. I'm telling you, don't learn the Gemara at all. The other ones taich leikanas lebeis hamedrash. Rabbi Kiva held you now learn Gemara, but you could go into the base medrash and hear them learning Gemara. You can listen in to Ashir. but you can't actually say it. But others say that Pshat, Rabbi Kiva was saying you shouldn't enter Beis Medrash. You shouldn't enter Beis Medrash, Kolik. Rabbi Yehuda, who's the one in the Mishnah we're trying to figure out his shita. Rabbi Yehuda Imer Shainuhu Behilchas Derech Eretz. He said you're allowed to learn Halacha Hilchas Derech Eretz. So Rabbi Yehuda, L'shita say, he held that Kriya Shema had a status of Hilchas Derech Eretz. It's something that it's something it's easy to read. You know what it means, and it's not something you get involved with. So Rabbi Yehuda, the Tana of the Mishnah, held that you're not allowed. So Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. There was a story, a Meiser Rabbi Yehuda, Shara Keri. He one time saw Keri. He was going on the river. Amalei Talmidav, his children, his Talmidim told the Rabbeinu, Shanal the Parakechem was Derech Eretz. Teach us at least the halacha Derech Eretz. She allowed to learn. So what did he do? He already first went off the boat, the Tavo, and he toiveled. Vishana, actually, he was walking next to the river.
That's what
next to the river, yeah. Yara V'Tavo, he went into the river and was toivel. Vishana, and then he taught them. And when he said back to Yehuda, Loi kachu maratonu rabbeinu. You yourself told us, Shoynu hu bilchas derech eretz. You allowed to learn bilchas derech eretz. All we asked you was to teach you bilchas derech eretz. You yourself say you allowed it without tefillah. Amolahem afu b'shemeikam liyala chayrim machrin elatz. V'aloch I hold you're allowed to, but for myself personally I'm more mach.
Why would it more embarrass Abida?
Because they can't tell you about halachas. They can't.
The student says, tell us something.
They can't.
Put him in the spot.
The teacher
they can't, because the Torah has to tell you everything you should know halachas. Besides which, it could have been carried from all kinds of things. From eating, or he was sick. The Gemara says that the person is sick.
There is different shittas. Yeah.
I'm just saying, since
the Maisa, from up until now, we see that there is definitely a takana of Tevilas Ezra. And there were certain shittas in Gemara that held different levels of exactly what it qualified. But everyone agreed that it's a takana of Tevilas Ezra. So, Ibazoi, if this is the case, what's Pshat? How come today we don't see everyone going, and if it's a takana of Ezra, just like we read Torah on Sheni B'Chamishi, we should also have everyone going to Tevilas Ezra. So the Gemara goes on further and brings another brayz. Tani Rabbi Yehuda ben Seiroim, Rabbi Yehuda ben Seira said, Ein divrei Torah mekabel tumah. He said, no, you're allowed to learn even without going to the Tefillah. Torah cannot receive tumah. Ma'isa, there was a story by Talmud Echad, there was a certain Talmud Shemigam Gim L'mayla Rabbi Yehuda ben Seira. He was standing above Rabbi Yehuda ben Seira and he was trying to say a Dvar Halacha, but he was not saying it clearly because he was about Keri. So he was uncomfortable saying the words of Torah. Amalei, Rabbi Yehuda ben Seira told him, B'ni, my son, Psach Picha, open your mouth, V'yiru Dvarecha, and your words will shine. Shein Divrei Torah Mekabel Tumah. Divrei Torah are not Mekabel Tumah. So don't worry, you could talk regular. Shenemar haloi koi dvarai keish. No Hashem. Hashem says, my words are like fire. Ma eish in mekabel tumah. Just like fire is not mekabel tumah. If you put something tummy into fire, the fire doesn't become tummy. If it touches something else, it makes it tummy. Av divrei Torah in mekabel tumah. Divrei Torah not mekabel tumah. So behold him say, I told this Talmud, you could speak clearly. Now, the Gemara now goes back to the earlier brayza, and the Gemara says to the discussion about what punkt you're allowed to learn, according to those days that hold you not allowed. It's a Gemara. You're allowed to learn a Mishnah with its reasoning, but not a Gemara with its reasoning. This brayza should help for Rabbi Loi. That Rabbi Loi shita was halacha metzias ha-Mishnah metzias ha-Gemara. You're allowed to explain a Mishnah, you're not allowed to explain a Gemara. Ketanoi, says the Gemara, it's actually machlokes tanoim. Matziyat the Mishnah, Matziyas ha-Gemara. The Rameir says, Take, like Rabbi Loi said, you're allowed to explain the Mishnah, not allowed to explain a Gemara. Rabbi Yehuda ben Gamliel, Amar Mishur b'Chanina ben Gamliel, Zev Aser. He said both of them are Aser, both the Mishnah and the Gemara. Others say that Chanina ben Gamliel had said Zeh Zeh Mutter. Both of them are Mutter, meaning he held like Rabbi Yehuda ben Seira. The Gemara says, "Man damar Zeh Zeh Aser." The one who said Pshat that Rabbi Yehuda ben Gamliel said, name of Chanina ben Gamliel Zeh Zeh Aser, that you're not allowed to learn Mishnah and Gemara. They held like Rabbi Yochanan and Sandler that we learned earlier in the Bryce. It said the name of Mikva, you're not allowed to learn Gemara at all. Loi Medrash. Lo yikonas lo medish kolikar. I mandam azev zeh mutter. The one who learned had a girsa of Chanina Gamliel that he said back to Rameir that both of them are mutter. How could he say both of them mutter? Because he held Rabbi Yehuda ben Seira. Like Rabbi Yehuda ben Seira, we learned said that they return not makabel tumah. Amar Rav Nachman Yitzchak said, no, Galma, the oilam is noyig. So the Gemara is not clear in its maskana who the halacha is like. The Gemara put a lot of opinions over here. The minhag of the Welt is Gehani Tlas Savi. These three elder Chachamim. Kirabiloi Bereishis Hagez. When it comes to the halacha of Bereishis Hagez, we're going to see soon as a machlokes there. The halacha is like a Bashita Rabiloi. When it comes Bekilayim, Kirab Yoshia Bekilayim. So the issue of the halacha Kilayim, we follow Rabbi Yoshia. And when it comes over here, Rabbi Yehuda ben Seira b'divrei Torah. When it comes to divrei Torah, we hold like Rabbi Yehuda ben Seira. That's what Nachman Yitzchak meant, that the minhag of the Welt is that we follow these three elder Chacham, these Saveh, these three areas. The Gemara is not going to go through each one. We follow Beloi Shit and Reishis Hagez, the Tanya, the Beloi and Reishis Hagez and Egal Ba'aretz. Reishis Hagez only Noeg in Eretz Yisrael, not in Chutz La'aretz. The first of the shearing, the first wool, you have to give to the Kohen. Only Eretz Yisrael. Keb Yoshia B'Kilayim, the Siv Kamach, Olei Sizra, Kamach Kilayim. Rabbi Yoshia learned Pshah, learned the Chayav, she's a Chita, the side of a Chayz of Pelasiyah. Only when you Chayav Kilayim, it's not enough that you take two different types of seeds. You also have to have something from a grapevine there, a Chatzim. You have to put them all together, plant them in the ground, then it's Kilayim. We follow it, so we said that we hold like Rabbi Yoshia. Rabbi Yehuda ben Seira b'divrei Torah, we said that we follow like Rabbi Yehuda ben Seira's opinion by divrei Torah. What did that mean? That meant, like we learned earlier, the Tanya went to the Bryce, Rabbi Yehuda ben Seira, I mean, divrei Torah and mekabel tumah. So Nachman Yitzchak could qualify that the minhag is, we follow like Rabbi Yehuda ben Seira, that we're not noyig in Tevilas Ezra because divrei Torah, not makabel tumah.
I grouped the three halachas together because it's the cooler. That the island was the cooler in three areas. Why would you say that?
Why Dafki? I'm not sure.
But I mean, it's Lakula. All of those three sheets are.
It is three sheets Lakula, but I don't know why you have to group the Lakula. There's a lot of sheets Lakula in Shas, so you can maybe add another 100 sheets. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why he groups Dafki these three together. Kahani Savi, maybe these three were Chaveirim, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's a good shaila, good deal. Ka'as is Ze'iri. When Ze'iri came, Amr Yiseh Batlua L'Tfilosa.
Wow.
The Tevilas of Ezra became bottle. Amila others sign that Ze'iri did not say Tfilosa. He said bottle L'Netilusa, bottle washing your hands before davening. Man Damar bottle Tfilosa. That learned Pshat in Ze'iri that he said bottled tefillah. Which tefillah did he mean? Rabbi Yehuda ben Seira, like Rabbi Yehuda ben Seira said, that Mavatal Tevilas Ezra.
Wait, that's
Man Damar Batla.
learning power, right?
Yeah. Man Damar Batla L'Tilusa. And for Kriya Shema. Those that say Batla L'Tilusa, that Ze'iri had said they were Mavatal N'Tilos Yadayim. Which tefillah did he mean? Kehadram Chista, it's like Reb Chista had said, Light Am'an, Reb Chista was cursed someone to Mehader Amayi Be'edin Slas, who ran around to go find water to wash his hands before davening. It's not a chiyuv. It's not a chiyuv. This is the Gemara about Tevilas Ezra.
But it's a strong language, Elijah. If you curse them, what? Because they'll be late from the Zman Tefillah?
Maybe, yeah.
What's up now?
Maybe even it's not that it's making it a chiyuv. So L'maisa,
not Tefillah.
yeah, that was that pshat in Ze'iri. So Nachman Yitzchak said clearly that Nog, Alma, like Rabbi Yehuda Seira. The Gemara says the Iri said they're Mavatul to Gansen. But there's another Shayan in the Girsa, maybe he didn't say Batul Tfilosa, maybe he said Batul and Tfilosa. Now, let's take a look in the Rif.
But till now, we didn't say anything about Shmon Esrei, right?
We didn't say anything about Tefillah, no. We didn't say anything about Tefillah, we only said Divrei Torah and Kriya Shema. Kriya Shema. So Muslim, we didn't say anything about that.
As Muslims, though, I suppose.
Now, says the Rif, all the way in the bottom of the Amud of the Rif, the next page. The second wide line, all the way in the bottom, the ending of the second wide line. Ve'ika man to Amar, there is someone, an opinion, who learns Pshat. The Hani Mili Divrei Torah. It was only for Divrei Torah that the Minhag is that we're not makbid Tevilas Ezra.
But I'm sorry, I can't.
I'm in the Rif, the second page.
Yeah, but
2 lines into the second wide line.
The second, Ikaman Damar Haida Amri. Is that it? Or wait,
Later on, the ending of the line.
oh, Ikaman Damar.
Hani Mili Divrei Torah. Up until now, he quotes the Gemara.
Okay, then
He quotes of Yehuda ben Seira and of Nachman bar Yitzchak and Zeiri. The 2 versions of Zeiri.
But then he says, Ikaman Damar.
I'm sorry. Let's read a little earlier on the line. I'm starting early in the line. Ikamanda Amar Haida Ami Batal Tfilosa Bein L'Divrei Torah L'Divrei Tefillah. Someone Pshat in the Gemara Batal Tfilosa became totally Batal. There's no more style of Tfilos of the Torah. There's no more Tfilah. Ikamanda Mahani L'Divrei Torah Al Tfilah Tzarich Tfilah. Someone qualified no. Only for Divrei Torah they're Mavatla, because that's what Rabbi Yehuda said was discussing. Divrei Torah. Divrei Torah ain't a Makabel and Tumah. It's only Divrei Torah. V'lav Tvila Dafke. When we say for Tvila you need Tvila, it doesn't mean Dafke of dipping yourself in a mikvah. Or a chitz of Tisha Kabin, you can do Tisha Kabin, pour on yourself Tisha Kabin, which is a whole discussion how you're supposed to pour. You're supposed to take 3 kalim and pour each one after the other without stopping one keli into the next.
When you say with the Velan, you're talking about davening or Divrei? Stam davening.
Davening. Because no, I davening, yeah. Because of Rabbeinu Hai Goins, that's all. Rabbeinu Hai said like this. Kiven the Gemara Leka Bahamilsa. What should the Rif do? We have here 2 opinions. Who is the halacha like? Since the Gemara said Rav Hai does not make it clear that Tevilas Ezra was bottle for Tefillah, the only thing that's clear in Gemara is that Divrei Torah is for sure bottle. But who said Tefillah is bottle? It's not clear. It could be the words bottle to Tevilosa means bottle to Tevilosa, there is no more Tefillah. It's bottle, the whole kind of Tefillah. Or we could say it means like the earlier the Gemara is talking about. You heard them saying about Divrei Torah. So you can look at in the background of what we spoke earlier in the Gemara, or you could say the Lasha bottle Tefillah was like the whole thing is bottle. The whole thing is bottle. So he says, since it's not clear in the Gemara, the Koit Minhag Kol Yisrael, then we should keep the Minhag Kol Yisrael. It seems that there was a Minhag by Rav Hai Goin's times. Shall go Baalei Krayin Afa Pishein Lamayim and Yispalam Shiyircht. All the Baalei Krayin, even though they don't have.
No, they cannot daven if you don't go to the
Maybe Mayim means Mikva. Memsa. Here
don't daven if you don't go to the mikvah.
Ein Yispalim Ashiyircht. They do not daven. Some say it's supposed to be mikvah over here. Av b'shein le mikvah in the Spal Shiyachet, so they at least do tefillas. They do tefillas Tisha Kabin. They do rechitzas Tisha Kabin. They pour on those Tisha Kab. The Maisa, so the Rif is Messiah with Rav Hai Goyin, that the Minhag Kol Yisrael is that for Tevilah we still do it. That's what the Rif says. Let's take a look on the side. Talmidei Rabbeinu Yoina. This is Talmidim of Rabbeinu Yoina wrote a Pirush, and it's all from Rabbeinu Yoina. And it's Talmidim wrote it on Brachas. On the left-hand column, where it says Ki Asa Zeiri. It's a little bit more towards the top. Ki Asa Zeiri. Aylam sees?
Yeah. Second shtick.
The mice have a big shail over here. What's pshat that Zeiri says we're mevatel Tevilas Ezra? Ezra made a takona. How could Zeiri come and mevatel?
Like somebody said, I'm mevateling Shen b'chamesh yitter.
Right? In time of Ramadan, there's a ticket Tevilah Baalei Kroyin. We say Ezra was Masakin. Tevilah for Baalei Kroyin. Hey, Choyer Yuchoyel mevatel takonas Ezra. Easter Omar, some say Mishum Sharo Shali Yichoyel Matzibur Lamidba. Because the tzibur was not able to, it was too hard for the tzibur to always run to the mikveh. But Hanochin, the proper pshat is, Hanochin Yoiser, it's more proper than pshat, Shalei Pashta Zeis Dakana B'chol Yisrael. Dakana Shalei Pashta Yisrael Yichoyel Levatel. This is a discussion over here. There's a difference between takana that it never spread in the whole Klal Yisrael. After he was masakin it, he looked around and he saw that Rav Yisrael wasn't keeping to it. L'chatchila never kept it. So Rav Yisrael l'chatchila did not keep to it. Never. So then the takana is bottled.
You have that today. You see Shekrais and I have the opposite of the Kachta Asid and the and in the little, as you're showing your kippah,
yeah. No, but even the Chassidim don't hold the etzem that minadin they have to go. So they also have to come on. They also have to come on to this. We're going to see in a minute. That's why I want to come today to explain why the oilam does and why the oilam doesn't.
So even the Chassidim that go to the mikveh, if they didn't go to the mikveh, you will daven.
Yeah, you can't be mevatel davening. By the way, the time to Tevilas Ezra, if you didn't have a mikveh, you didn't daven. That's it. You mevatel daven. Mevatel kriyishma. The takana. Takana vezin. The Birchas Hamazon already did. The Tanakama said you should say Birchas Hamazon.
No,
not the bracha before.
Right. So it's a derech.
No, only the Birchas Hamazon after is Birchas Torah.
And this is not okay.
No, the Mishnah says that they do say Birchas Hamazon. The Maisa. See, he's just over here discussing what's pshat, what happened. First said the pshat, someone on pshat was, he saw, Itaka was a spash in Klal Yisrael, it was too difficult for them. He said better to learn pshat, that the reason why it was bottled because the l'chatchila never spread around.
Once it was spread.
Never spread around l'chatchila. Now, Kasa Rabbeinu Hai Goyin Zal, Rabbeinu Hai Goyin said, like we read, only for kriyishma and davening. And for learning. This is what we read from the Rif, right? If you read Rabbeinu Hai himself, you maybe would say Pshat and Hai Goyin is that you have to go dafkin 40 saw in a mikvah. The Rif says, you don't dafkin have to have a chitza. You can have Tisha Kab. How do you do Tisha Kab? Rechitza Tisha Kab and washing yourself with this amount, 9 kavana of water. So you have to pour on yourself with a keli. That you have to pour without any stop. It has to be continuous flow. So you're allowed to use up to 3 kelim, but each keli has to be within the first one. The first one's still pouring, you already start pouring the second. Or you do with one.
That's with the shower. It's a big cup of the shower, right? A big spout.
So the shower is a zoy. Someone at Taina that a shower is a good stand for 2-3 minutes under a shower.
It's
Tisha Kab. And it's a good Tisha Kab. Now others say there's still an inyan of going dafka to the mikveh because because Tisha Kabin is supposed to be B'koyach Adam. Adam's supposed to pour the keli. Over here, you're not pouring it. Showers come in mail. The first bit came Mikoychacha, you opened it up. But afterwards, it comes by itself. So Zichel is a ing in Dafke to have a proper Tisha Kabin, or. And by the way, Amol, there was no mikveh. Let's say when the Chevra Kadisha wanted to attire, there was no mikveh before there was the America over here. Tisha Kabin. By the Rebbeim, by the Rebbeim, the Fidik Rebbe, and for some reason also by the Rebbe, they did not take the mikveh, the Tisha Kabin. I don't understand the reason.
When must it stand with the ocean?
No, they had, listen, they could have taken a men's mikveh out for that day. Okay, then they made a chapel. Before Shem Hadas, there's no chapel, they did Tevilas Ezra, they did Tisha Kabin. You had before Shem Hadas? Where was that?
They had a Fort Hamilton. They used that.
No, now it's a new one. That's a new thing. Now, Lamaisa is also Tisha Kabin.
They did it in his room.
I'm not sure, I'm not sure what the Hasbara. It's not so easy to do it, by the way. If you're dealing with a live person, you stand up. If you're dealing on mace, so they have to lift the person up.
That's dead weight.
Yes, they build a contraption. It's done still, I'll tell you. I met a guy, someone one time, I had a Makuri from Miftzayim, and he called me up that someone was lifter or whatever, so they wanted me to come help make sure everything's done. So I first asked, and they told me to come to the Fish at the Levaya. By then, the most important thing is the Levaya. I want to make sure there's a Tara. So they told me that the certain funeral home they're using says they have a kosher, what does it mean? They're in a kosher burial. So I called up the funeral home. They told me they have, it's like a Jewish funeral, but it's not from people. So they said, they have a certain rabbi, he's the rabbi, you can speak to him. So I called this guy. Basically, this fellow, he arranged, it's a business, it's a mitzvah, it's a business. He has 12 chapels in Long Island, in Westchester, these places. There's no chapels there, further chapels. He arranged these Jewish or non-Jewish chapels that a person who wants can have an option of having a tara and a kara and everything. And the person calls up in how much the person is willing to do, that's how much he'll get his service for. You want this, we'll do this for you. So how does he do it? He gets a room in the chapel, and there's no mikveh there, so he does Tisha Kabin, he has mashkichim, he sends people around, he pays people to go to these chapels, and they go there and they have a room on the side and they do the Tisha Kabin, and they have tachrikim there, and then they have an orin. They have you can order if the person's going to do it. He could say, I want only the taret, I'm not going to do, and he could order a pine, a simple wooden casket, and he'll get they'll have. So people still do Tisha Kabin. So for most people, you have the chapel, but also by shluchim and out of town, it's very negeya. They don't have chapels out of town. So they're doing Tisha Kabin in a lot of places. Not only shluchim and Gizur. What are they doing all around? There's no chapels. On big communities they have their own chapel. They're doing Tisha Kabin. The rabbi comes to the city and he makes the Orthodox rabbi makes a deal with the chapel that you give me a room, you give me a space. When I come, that I can take the mace and I'm going to deal. I take care of the shomer and I take care of everything. And therefore, you make a Beis HaChaim in the city, you make Kaddish it, and you make sure that people are going to have Taras Yisrael. Anyways, L'maisa, let's go back to the living. Everyone should be gesund. So, L'maisa Rabbeinu Hai held that Tefillah it's still a takana. It was only bottled for Divrei Torah and Kriyishma. But Tefillah, you still have to daven with, go to the mikveh before davening or do Tisha Kabin. So it says that Tamidi Rabbeinu Yoina, we don't agree. Rabbeinu Yoina, our Rebbe, Rabbeinu Yoina, my Rebbe did not agree with Rabbeinu Haikor. Zeh shekotzav hagoyin zal de'ein mispalum ad sheyirchatzu einin nira l'moiri erav. Didn't seem to. Im ein loy mayim, I feel yesh loy mayim. In any toivel, any roichet, if he's not toivel or he's not wash himself in Tisha B'Av, hafilu hachi and he mafs the tefillah one does not lose the tefillah place. You mean that you're still supposed to daven. You're not allowed to push off, say I'm not davening. Devadai, these are the key words. It's taka true that davening is more accepted. We're going to the mikvah l'divrei hakel according to all opinions. Even those that want to learn it's batul and gansin, it's still an inyan to go to the mikvah. It doesn't mean it's batul the chiyuv, the takana is batul. But to mean that it's no longer helpful for davening, it's still a helpful thing to go to the mikvah. However, to say that you're not going to daven today, I'm not going to daven because I don't have water, you can't say such a thing because it's taka batul. But it's l'yoyis mukubelas. V'chein kasav Rabbeinu Moshe Zal, the Rambam said so. V'chol Rosh Yeshiva, all Rosh Yeshivas in Babel, Tamil, over wondering of the Rambam. V'ama yim mekel kol kach v'yin tfilas balkeri. Why was he so mekel? V'huzal, and he, the Rambam, Zechayin Lavracha, answered back, Yeshiv lahem shemiyamav, le'bat lo'is afilu sha'achas. Shalahayachal lichte b'chiburi kimi yesim napi Allah. It says interesting words of here. The Rambam said, Tefillah never stopped. Tevilas Ezra, Tefillah was always continuing, people always did it. But halacha is halacha. The meaning, people are doing it. But can I write in my chibur, in my Mishnah Torah, can I write this the halacha? I can't say it's halacha. The Gemara said, Batla Tevilusa, and I learned Pshat, it means even Tefillah, not like a Beit HaGoy that said it's only for Divrei Torah and Kishna. So I have to write the halacha the way it is. But to say that it's batul, that it doesn't exist anymore, it doesn't mean anything, it doesn't have any meaning, it's not true. The batul miyamav, it always exists. People always do it, and it exists, and it's something that's helpful. Similar to what we saw earlier from Rabbeinu Yonah. That tefillah is more makubal with the mikvah.
Well, maybe I'm just suggesting, Eishav lahem shemiyamav, why batul, like the meaning he himself never died without the Rambam. Maybe it means like.
I think you're right. I think you're correct. Now remembering the lashon, I think you're correct.
You know, but
he himself, the Rambam, was never mevatel it.
Yeah, always wanted.
But halacha is halacha. I do it, but I have to write halacha the way it is. Like we saw earlier from Yehuda ben Seder. Yehuda ben Seder said that he was more hilchas derech eretz. You're allowed to learn kriyish hilchas derech eretz. You're allowed to do even without even when you're balkari. When he himself was a balkari, and his talmidim wanted to learn hilchas derech eretz, he quickly jumped into the mikveh. He said, "What my high? You said yourself that's batul." He said, "Myself, I'm machmir. For others, I'm mekel." So I'm saying like chibur I wrote this way, but I myself I was never batul. But you're right. Maisa, let's take a look in the Rambam what he writes in his chibur. The last page. We're going to go to Maidav soon.
What about taking a shower after the mikveh? Many people these days, the mikveh has a lot of chlorine, burn your eyes. They come outside.
It's the skin. It's very itchy skin.
Whatever it is, so they can't handle it, and they go take a shower right after the mikveh.
If someone's not going to go to the mikveh without it, he can't, so you should do it.
Better to go to the mikveh and take a shower than not.
If he can have chlorine and people sometimes it irritates the skin. But if it doesn't irritate the skin, it's taka better. Better not to take it.
What do you do on Shabbos?
So it's a minhag lachreina.
Shabbos you
The
can't.
last 10 years, but minhag America.
People start taking a shower after the mikveh.
Right. But Be'etzim Chasidish Yidden never did it. Not only that, I'll tell you something. There were Yidden that never used to even dry themselves. They would not dry themselves to take off the mikveh water off of them. It says from that Arizal that you shouldn't dry yourself.
That's right.
The Arizal wouldn't dry himself after the mikveh. So they would put on their clothing straight like that. And the Rebbe one time said that the pshara, that you leave part of the foot, part of the leg, not dry, but not the whole.
But what's the Indian of not taking a shower? Because what people will think.
I read
It's the shower, not the mikveh.
Hilke Zaltzman is a Yid. He came out of Russia in the early 70s. So he wrote a book recently called Samarkand, a very big book. It's I think he's translating it to English now.
To use the towel for the mikveh.
Oh.
I read it.
So he says, he remembers how when he was younger in Russia, the Hasidim would never use a towel. And so he never used a towel when he left the mikveh. When he came to London, after he left Russia, and he saw there was a big chassid of Mendel Futafas, but he was with him himself in Russia. And he sees the Mendel Futafas taking a towel. He says, Mendel, what's da? Mendel told him, it's America, like, it's over here it's okay if you'll take a towel, it's not, in Russia, it's given, here it's not, and then later on he learned that the Rebbe said a sikha that you don't have to be makbid mamash. Let's take a look at the Rambam. The Rambam writes in his Chibur, Kol atmeim reitzi yideim bovad kitoirim muspalim. All those that are tamei wash their hands before davening, and they daven like the regular, like as if they're tar. Even though they can go and go to the mikveh before. Ein atfilu ma'keves. Tefillah is not ma'akev them from davening. Originally, Ezra was masakin that Balkari should not learn Torah before he goes to the mikveh. The way the Rambam's shot is, it was a bezin after Ezra came and was masakin after Tefillah. She spala Balkari bavad shit. The davening also became included from a bezin later in Tevilas Ezra. This wasn't an issue in Tuman Tara. It's only in order Talmidei Chachamim should not be found by their wives like Tana Goyim, like chickens. Chickens are always being mishamish mitasa. Therefore, they said only by a Balkari should he never sack in tefillah. So a person should know he's going to have to go to the mikveh before he davens to learn. He's not going to always be mishamish mitasa. They took out, Ezra took out the Balei Keri from all other Tmeim. All their Zavim, Mitzvah, everyone else, they can daven like normal. This man Takana Zu, in the time of this Takana, Shafilu Zav Shira Keri. Even if someone was already Tameh because he was a Zav, but then he saw a Keri, or a Nida Shapol Tashikha Zera, or Mishamesh Shirasa Damida. Tzichet Tefillah, the Kriyish Mechem Tefillah, also women who was Mishamish, also needs Tefillah for Kriyishma, for David and Pei Keri. Even they're already Tameh, they're Tameh because they're a Zav or they're a Nida. This tefillah is not mitzvah tara. So I can't. Someone would say I can't become tahir for the zav and nida anyways because it's not in the 7 days I'm not up. So what's my tefillah going to help? It has nothing to do with it. I'm thinking zera shalayim mitzui and eitz and l'shasayim tamid. O karbat l'gam takon zusha tefillah shepasha b'chol yisrael v'leyakoyev b'sibalam. This takon on tefillah was also bottled. Because it's Sibit did not have the koyach to do it.
Well,
so
he says first, Lefisha Log Pashta B'chal Yisrael, like we said in the Ram, that's the main reason. He says that first. Then he says, well, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the whole discussion. What's
that's why I'm going to. That's why it's Mvada. It's one lead to the other.
Now, the next halacha he says, but minig pashut. But the basic minig, the simple minig is in Shinar, in Bavel, in Sfarad, Spain, Shein Balkari, Mispalat, Shavreichas, Kosar, B'mai. Shemhikin, Likas, Hashem, Alikim. There was an inyan at Hachanul Tefillah that a person should go to the mikveh. Or wash himself in Tisha B'Av. It was a minig. A minig in Bavel and Shinar. In Bavel and Sfarad. L'poyol halacha, the Alter Rebbe writes in Shulchan Aruch and Siman Peiches. Kol atmeim afilu tuma yoytza le megufon. Kein zav v'zav v'chayetz ben koyin pishim espalum. Chutz v'alkeri shitzi azam in klal atmeim v'osroi bein b'tivitorya bein mikriyish mal tefillah. Kedei shitami decham etzuyin eshesein ketana goyim. Le'posh takana zu b'roi b'Yisrael. V'yachak ha'batlo is takana l'gambi. Why was it battle? Mishum bittul Torah, mishum bittul perividivya. People were not learning because they had waiting until they go to the running around until they get to the mikveh because they're not learning. And also bittul perividivya. They didn't want to be mishamish because I have to learn the next day. I'm going to have to run and find myself a mikveh. So people were going to have less children. Therefore, Amidu Adovar Aladin Sha'at Balkari Mutter B'Divitori B'Kishim B'Tfil B'Loi Tfila B'Loi B'Chitzis B'Tasakabim B'Chein Pasha Taminik. Now, the Rebbe says the minig is not like the Rambam. The Rambam was talking about in Svarad and Shinner in his times. The minig was that for Achonol Tfila they would, as a minig, they would go to the mikvah. But the Rebbe writes the minig became, the minig Ashkenaz is that they don't go to the mikvah, even for Tfila. However, like we saw before, why do Chassidim go to the mikvah? Mal Shem Tov said it's an Indian to go to Tfila and it's Moisef Tara, and a person should go to mikvah as many times as they could. And this thing has a basis, like we saw early on that Talmid Rabbeinu Yonah said that even though it's bottled, the takana, but it's still mekubelas yoyse. Your tefillah is more mekubel with going to the mikvah. As well, the Rambam wrote that the minig is there's an inyan hikin lik l'shem l'kech, even though we can't taina that it's a minig, b'koyach of a minig of Shulchan Aruch that you have to do it, because the Rambam Alter Rebbe doesn't write that way. Look in the Orches Chaim from the Rosh writes, Al tispalo b'lei nikiyas kapayim b'lei tara. First, you're not davening without washing your hands and without tara, going to the mikveh. Ki tevilas nishmas, it's not going to be heard as well.
Same.
The Meiri says, Klal Godel Amru in Divrei Torah Mekabel Tuma. Mikol Making Tvila Zu Kedusha Gedoylehi V'chol Amach Rabba Tavel Abracha. V'leyoy L'kama Pamim Nitz Oda Nitz Am Aveda V'Sivas. A person can be saved from an Aveda if he knows he has to go to the mikveh. So L'maisa we see that this is not the Chassidish Azach. It starts off from the Rishonim. The Rishonim themselves, even though they don't agree with Rav Hai Goyen, Rav Hai Goyen held it still today. That Takana for Tefillah was never bottled. But his opinion wasn't accepted. Not by the Rambam, not by the Yonah, not by the other Rishonim. But still in all, a number of the Rishonim say clearly that there's definitely Ian and Kedusha and Tal and Tevilas Ezra. The Alter Rebbe mentions this, the Balatanya brings him a Kutitayra Pashas Kisavei. He brings the opinion of Rav Hai Goyen. He says, even though we don't hold like Rav Hai Goyen up Shulchan Aruch, but still in all, Tefillah B'Kubal B'Al Siyasa, like the opinion of any Yonah. We have also the other Rishonim, some other Rishonim. That's why it's by the Chassidish. The Chassidim was a very big Inyan. Tevilas Ezra. Tevilas Ezra was a chok v'lo yaver. There's no such a thing as davening or learning before Tevilas Ezra. By the way, it does not include here thinking Torah. You're allowed to think Torah. It's talking about speaking Torah with your mouth. So they don't say brachas, they don't put on mezainis, they don't eat mezainis, they don't until they go to the mikvah. Those that are keeping Tevilas Ezra to the full extent. However, others at Minhag Ashkenaz they weren't makabelit, so they don't go to the mikvah. So this is the reason for both of them. But even the Litvisha, there were some of the Gdei Yisrael that were makbid on it. Befrat when it came to the Shoshana says he made tshuva and these manim. There were those that were makbid. There's many stories of different the Chavetz Chaim, different Gdei Yisrael that were makbid on Tevilas Ezra. Besides for Tevilas Ezra, Rabbi Yisai, there's another Tevilah. Tevilas Ezra is from Tumah to Tara. From the Tumah's Keri to become Tar. What happens if someone already, he's not a Baal Keri. There's an additional Inyan. From going to the mikveh before davening, Hachana for davening, Hachana for davening, and as being Moisif Kedusha. What should we see? The Kohen Gadol went in Yom Kippur to mikveh 5 times. Why did he need to go 5 times? First of all, it could be he was tar. The first time, even if he was, the first time was a Shash Baal Keri. So he went. That's why he didn't sleep a whole night.
7 days before.
And he didn't sleep a whole. He didn't sleep a whole night because he didn't want to be Baal Keri in those. But even let's say if somehow there's some mistake, he went to mikveh 1 time. Why did he go again and again? It's moist if you're tired more and more. There's different levels in Kedusha. Even when someone goes to the mikveh, if he was only going for Tumah to Tara, it was enough to be Tevel 1 time. 1 time you're ready Tara. Why are some people being Tevel more than once? Because each time they mean Tevel, they mean moist if Tara. So that's a different Tevilah. That's not Tevilas Ezra. When you see Tevilas Ezra, someone says, I'm makbid in Tevilas Ezra, it's not the same as someone who goes every day or goes more often. Then there's other madregas, the people that say I don't go every day, but I go Erev Shabbos, or I go Shabbos to the mikveh, I go Yom Tov, Chayiv Adam L'Taratz, V'Regel. Many Yidden will go Erev Yom Tov to go to the mikveh. There are even Yidden that go from Yom Tov to Shabbos, because Kapi Kabbalah, Shabbos are higher Madrega Yom Tov. So we had now Shavuos, was 2 days Yom Tov and Shabbos, so they'll go on Yom Tov, second day Yom Tov, before Shabbos, they'll go to the mikveh, because I have to now go to a higher Madrega to be covered Shabbos. Now we're getting to Meidem. So Elulzman, and so that's a religion of Mikva, so everyone should be Mahadis. The Inyan of Tevilas Ezra is a very special Inyan. Definitely Inyan that people should be dactic, that after the Meshamash Mitos and after Balkari, a person should go to the Mikva.
What's the limit of just what you He will say number, 5 times. It goes 100 times. I mean,
yeah, you can't be OCD about it. Most days you go once a day to the mikveh. There were other Gedolim Yisrael in Lubavitch, the Baal Tekeya went to the mikveh before Tkiyas. Even though he went in the morning, he went again. And the lot of tzaddikim, they go before Chanukah Licht. And there's different minhagim and different kehillas. So everyone should do like the minhag of their guys.
Yeah,